Hey, Cy Rodriguez here, and today I wanted to speak with you about making the most of being vegan, how to be a thriving vegan, how to thrive as a vegan, and start your days with something awesome, gives you lots of nutrition, so you're ahead of the game when you start. And I always like to start out with green smoothies. This is what I'm drinking today. It's about 32 ounces, a quart of green smoothie. It's got about 5 to 10 bananas in it. I didn't make it this morning, my wife did, so I'm not sure how many bananas exactly, but somewhere between 5 and 10 bananas depending on the size of them. And it's got mixed baby greens that were like herb greens and lettuce greens and arugula, all kinds of different greens in it. And eat lots of fruit. And I'm going to give you this simple thought. Eating fruits is simple. That's why it's such a good thing to do. A banana, all you have to do is just open it and eat it. And contrary to what a lot of people think, there's protein in bananas and all fruit. So you can get a lot of protein just by eating fruits and greens alone. In fact, the ratio of protein in greens percentage-wise compared to fats and carbohydrates is actually pretty significant, although there's not a lot of calories. So you'd have to eat a lot of greens if you really wanted to stay alive and healthy. What I mean by stay alive and healthy, I mean to have any energy at all, you'd have to eat a lot of greens just because they are lacking in carbohydrates, which you need a lot of. But getting more down to the core of how to really thrive as a vegan, you need to eat more than what you used to eat when you were eating junk food and your regular standard diet. And the reason why is because generally there are a lot less fats in the foods that you're eating. So if you're eating rice, for example, or quinoa, you're getting protein and carbohydrates, and you're getting some fat, but there's not a lot of fat. So you need to up the amount for your serving size in order to really have the energy that you need and be able to build muscle, and so or maintain muscle. I have noticed over the years that a lot of vegans and vegetarians, they either get really fat because they eat all of these junk carbs with lots of fat in them, like prepared foods that are already made for you, and then a lot of dairy. And those two things together can really make a vegetarian a pretty heavy person. Now vegans, if you're just a junk food vegan and you're eating whatever, as long as it doesn't have any animal flesh or materials in it, then you could potentially get overweight pretty easily too. But if you're just trying to be a healthy vegan, a lot of people have the idea that, okay, I'm just going to eat fruits and nuts and seeds and greens. And those are all some of the best foods. Nuts are a little bit more questionable than fruits and greens, but there are some nuts and seeds that are beneficial in small amounts, I guess you could say. I would prefer to get more of my energy from things like grains and beans that are cooked than to get them from nuts and seeds for more than one reason. And that's another way that I wanted to tell you that you can thrive as a vegan, is to not be afraid to add more of these cooked foods into your diet, including beans or legumes, rice. Brown rice is really good, but rice in general, go for organic wherever you can. Corn, potatoes, but I'm talking about grains and beans right now, so quinoa, amaranth, millet, are two staple, and oatmeal too. Oatmeal with raisins is a really good way to get a lot of carbohydrates and energy in you, plus beta-glucan. There's a lot of, and there's iron in raisins, a pretty significant amount of iron in raisins. But bottom line is that you want to focus on whole foods and eat more and keep it simple. So we're staying away from the vegetable oils completely, with the exceptions of maybe a little bit of coconut oil and flax oil. And then, if there's oil in something like avocado or olives, if you want to have those here and there, those things are good to have. But stick away from your overt fats. And when I say overt, I mean specifically vegetable oils, because those are not good for you and they really serve no purpose for you at all, except for to give you inflammation and also add to your calorie intake from little amounts of food adding up to a lot of fat and throwing your balance out of proportion, making you lean towards most of your calories coming from fat. So I would stay more towards the whole foods and then eat as much as you want, pretty much. And if you find you're starting to put on the weight that you wanted to put on and going over that, you can always adjust back a little. But most people, I don't think you're going to have to worry too much if you're avoiding the vegetable oils and things like that. So keep it simple. That's another thing that makes it easy to be vegan or vegetarian even long term, is to not always try to be fancy. Think about what it is that actually makes you feel good, what gives you the energy you need, and make it in a way that's easy for you to make it so that you don't give up. And what I'm talking about is like if you have something that tastes a little bland, like if your rice is not enough with just rice, then throw some sea salt on it, and if you need to, throw a little bit of flax oil on it too, to give it a little bit of flavor if that's what you need to eat more of it. But I recommend eating most of it without any of the oil on it, and then adding a little oil to it maybe towards the end, and kind of seeing if you really like the oil. Because what I noticed is I used to eat a lot of flax oil, used to eat a lot of coconut oil, but then as I tapered off of it, I'm pretty sure I feel better. It's hard to compare now to then, but I'm pretty sure I feel better. And I also noticed that I don't really like the oil as much as I thought I did. Now, I'm not saying don't have any oil in your diet, and that would be a lie if I was to tell you that I don't eat oil, because I do. Flax oil, coconut oil, avocados, the main ones. But garbanzo beans are pretty high in fat. They're also very high in protein. Soybeans, pretty high in fat and protein. So you're going to get fats from other sources, including your greens, and there's even a little bit of fat in fruits, believe it or not. So keeping it simple is going to help you to do it long term. So add things like onion, peppers, some chopped celery, something to give your foods texture if they need texture. But just keep it simple and go mostly for whole foods, and that is going to help you to thrive as a vegan. Don't be afraid to eat more, don't be afraid to eat cooked. And that's the message for the day. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you like this video, and let me know what you want to hear, because I'm always happy to answer questions and find answers if I don't have them. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video.